Now, when you are down and the world thinks you are ready to check out, the grittiest always hit back stronger. That's what the most heroic sporting stories are all about. There is no way we cannot talk about the third and final T20 cricket match between India and Afghanistan. That took place, of course, in India's city of Bengaluru. Multiple records were broken, but the biggest story coming out of that was India's captain Rohit Sharma leading from the front with the bat. The very same cricketer who was absolutely shattered at the end of the ODI World Cup last year. The very same whose future looked bleak just weeks ago. The same Rohit hitman Sharma, who many said must rethink his future commitments, especially in the shorter formats, who many said shouldn't be the Indian skipper come the T20 World Cup. And just look at the sequence of events post that horrid ODI World Cup final for India. Rohit Sharma is utterly dejected, and then comes the announcement of Hardik Pandya moving over to the Mumbai Indians. Then, of course, the announcement of Hardik being made the captain. Then, of course, the rumours of Rohit walking out of the franchise. Untrue, of course. And then comes the series against Afghanistan that Rohit finds himself captaining. The opening batter, of course, scored 2 ducks in the first 2 matches. And the tongues were wagging that there is nothing much we can see from a man who is clearly still reeling from all that's happened on and off the field over the last few months. And then, of course, comes the hit back. Sure, it was at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, known for its big hitting. Sure, it was a great track to bat on, but Rohit stood tall amongst the shambles of the Indian batting lineup, alongside the man who is the future of Indian cricket, Rinku Singh. We'll come to him in just a bit. Rohit, of course, struck a blistering century, a massive one, and with that became the first batter in the world to have 5 T20 hundreds to his name. In men's T20I cricket, Rohit Sharma leads the pack, and it has some of the best, most flamboyant batters whom he has overtaken. Glenn Mad Maxwell, Surya Kumar 360 degrees Yadav, Babar Azam, and the Kiwi Colin Munro. Now, I still remember the first T20 100 he struck. I witnessed that knock as a broadcaster in India's picturesque Dharamshala against South Africa. It was a powerful knock, and he was in his zone. Nearly 10 years on, that knock came in 2015, and he's looked just as dominant. Probably the opposition was not as experienced as the Proteas back then, but no one can take a new and improved Afghanistan side all too lightly these days, as they showed, taking the match to not 1 but 2 super overs, the first time ever at a T20 international. And then, of course, joining hands with the senior was one of the junior most powerful strikers in the team. Rinku Singh has showed rather consistently now that he is the finisher India was looking for. In the 15 T20 matches that he's played for India, he has been striking at nearly 180 and made his highest score last night, continuing to make his case for the T20 World Cup. The super over was just as dramatic. There wasn't 1, but 2 of them. There was some confusion on Rohit Sharma reappearing for the second. Rules clearly state that the same batter, if dismissed, cannot appear in the second super over if that happens. But he had retired himself hurt just before the last delivery, and in the right time too. That required a lot of common sense and quick thinking on Rohit's part. In fact, coach Rahul Dravid, cheekily post the match, lauded him, saying taking himself out was such an R. Ashwin-esque level thinking. The second super over came across as mere formality. Towards the end, Afghanistan did look like they lost some steam and a bit of their way while chasing the not too steep target. So my final take on the Rohit Rinku show, which was, let's face it, the most defining aspect of the match, barring the dramatic finish, of course, it was a symbolic partnership between the man who's ruled India's top order all these years with the boy who looks to rule the lower order of the batting lineup. Sort of a handing over of the baton in some sense. This was Rohit Sharma's way of saying he's not done just yet. He's far from it, in fact. And as long as his bat does the talking in the fashion that it did last night, no one can keep him out of a T20 side, especially for a World Cup, and for a while at least. And going by the love and camaraderie the team shares and rallies around him, it looks tough to shake that captaincy crown either, unless the powers that be consider this to be a handing over of the reins here. That is Rohit Sharma handing the captaincy over to Hardik Pandya, or at least in the shorter formats, and staying along for the transition to happen as well. As far as India's search for that finisher goes, Rinku Singh is steadily giving them plenty of reasons to consider him for the long haul. He has the calmness about him that matter in run chases, and the hunger to strike that really comes good when you're batting first, definitely two massive pluses for this side heading into another World Cup.